Good afternoon and welcome to the 33rd meeting of the Honolulu Liquor Commission. Please silence all of your electronic devices. And if you're appearing today before the commission, please introduce yourself and your client and spell your names for the court. For the commission's reporter. And if you're here to testify on any matters before us today, please come forward, be sworn in, and identify yourself and spell your name. With that being said, commissioners, I see we have some minutes for action.
Yes, Chair. Motion for the approval of the regular and executive session minutes, the 28th meeting as previously circulated.
Second. Been moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. The regular and executive minutes of the 28th meeting are approved. Let's move into the public hearing. Calling agenda item number 1, application number 19-14936 from Hana Co-op Brewing. Gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Kerry Kopp, KERRY
Joshua Kopp, JOSHUA KOPP.
Thank you. Ms. Rai.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This application has received 1 written protest, 0 letters in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application. And for the record, a summary of the January 17th preliminary hearing testimony was provided to Commissioner Miyashiro prior to the public hearing.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to testify for or against this application? Okay, I see none. So have you had an opportunity to review the protest?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. That's all we were asking because it's unsigned.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Actually, along those lines, do you have any comment on the contents of the protest?
Well, I think the concern was noise. Our facility doesn't have any operable windows. There's no outside seating. It's all inside seating and air conditioned. So I don't believe there'll be any, noise to the neighbors and surrounding areas. And the letter also mentioned a bar that's been a long time bar on a street further down on Cummings Street. But that stays open I think till like 4 a.m. in the morning. We're not going to be a late night establishment, so I don't expect that we're going to have any kind of problems like that.
Okay, I have a related question. What are your plans as far as parking is concerned? Because I know that's a tight area for parking.
Right. We have in the adjacent lot. It's a 5,000 square foot lot that's immediately adjacent to the brewery that I own. And so we're going to be parking in that lot. And then I have a building on Cummins Street that's another 5,000 square foot lot. And we're looking at potentially putting up some kind of a parking structure. And I also have some properties directly behind Kauai House Road on Monmouth Street that we have about 45 parking stalls that are primarily used during the 7:30 to 4:30 in the day time for business purposes. So those would be overflow valet spots.
Great, thank you.
Are there any further questions, commissioners? Do we have a type of action?
Motion to approve application number 19-14936.
Second.
Been moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 1, application number 19-14936 is approved.
Thank you,
Good
gentlemen.
luck.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 2, application number 19-15020 from Shorefire 2 Inc. Mr. Hu.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commission members. Kenneth Hu appearing for the applicant. Alvin Farinas was supposed to be here. We may have been caught in traffic. I am the authorized agent. I'll leave to your good discretion whether we can proceed with the public hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Hu. We can proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This application has received 0 written protests, 0 letters in support. Applicant has met statutory requirements for the submission of this application. And for the record, a summary of the January 17th preliminary hearing testimony was provided to Commissioner Miyashiro prior to the public hearing.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to testify for or against this application? Seeing none, commissioners?
Yes, Mr. Wu, I see here there's a asterisk next to the address listed as 2330 Kalakaua Avenue. And the note says that it was previously occupied by Baku,
That's correct.
but the address was 2324 Kalakaua Avenue.
That's what was listed on that license app. It's the same space. It's just
Right.
that for whatever reason sits on the same TMK. There's multiple addresses which are on that same TMK. So the investigator, Mr. Takeda, thought it'd be best that we put in this address.
Okay,
And
so
when you look on the Department of Planning and Permitting on that holistic land information, it lists that address
okay.
that we have.
My concern is, as you know, there's a lot of correspondence that's required between the liquor commission and the licensee. We don't want there to be any confusion as to where to direct the mail to, and we don't want any confusion on the part of your clients as to where to get if they're receiving the correspondence from the liquor commission.
Yes.
So can you address that?
Well, this address we will get the mail. We've been in contact with the landlord, and they know that, so the mail does come into this address that you just said on this application.
Okay, so just as long as you folks are aware, I don't want
Sure.
folks coming in and saying we're not receiving anything, and that's why our
Hopefully, we won't get any violations, so there won't
Right.
be any.
well, I'm trying to prevent that from occurring unnecessarily.
Yes.
So please communicate with the commission as to where we need to correspond with you.
Certainly.
Thank you. Any further questions or type of action?
Motion to approve application number 19-15020.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 2, application number 19-15020 is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Wu.
Thank you, Mr. Hu. Let's move into the special license applications, agenda item number 3, application number 19-16072 from Bamboo Catering Inc.
Good afternoon. David Webb, WEBV, authorized agent, Bamboo Catering.
Thank you very much. Commissioners?
Mr. Webb, are you aware of MMA or mixed martial arts events being held at this location prior to this particular request?
Yes, sir, we've done numerous ones.
Okay, has alcohol been served there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, any concerns, problems, incidents?
No, sir, not. One previous with the catering company that I worked with prior to this one, which had a long-standing contract with the Philcom Center. There was a small incident in the parking lot, and that was dealt with very quickly by HPD. We always hire HPD officers.
Okay, and I see in the investigative report that there will be a total of 3 security personnel, but it doesn't indicate how many HPD personnel.
They were hired through the Philcom Center. I believe it's 3.
3 police officers,
Yes, sir. Special duty officers.
special.
And Mr. Webb, the report lists that this is gonna be all ages, so there'll be minors in attendance.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How are you planning to prevent service or consumption by minors?
Well, they banned people at the door, and then also we check IDs just in case people try to get around that.
Okay. So is it
There's not a lot. So
right, and you said that there's about 200 attendees. Of those attendees, how many do you think are minors under the age of 21?
maybe 30.
Thank you. Anything else, Chair? Motion to approve application number 19-16072.
Second.
So moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 3, application number 19-16072 is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Webb. Good luck.
Thank you.
Move on to agenda item number 4. application number 19-16089 from Unity Championship Entertainment LLC.
Good afternoon, Alexander Lee, ALEXANDER, LEE, owner of Unified Championship Entertainment.
Very good. Commissioners, do you have any questions? Because I have a couple.
I'm sorry, thank you. Mr. Lee, similar to my questions to the last applicant, the investigative report here indicates 12 security personnel but doesn't state how many HPD are going to be present.
We have 6 HPD, 4 range security, and the rest are Aloha Tower security.
What's the total security is 12.
Yes, so Aloha Tower has actually a couple more than 2 on hand, but they also help with ushering vehicles or crowd.
Okay, just to be clear, there's a total of at least 12 security personnel in addition to 6 police officers. Thank you.
Vice Chair Min, questions?
Yes, Mr. Lee, this is also gonna be an event that's open to all agents, correct?
Correct.
So how do you folks plan to prevent the service or consumption of alcohol to minors?
We ban and we barricade the bar area. So the bar area has 21 and over only,
Okay,
and they cannot take any alcohol out of the.
so you folks are gonna have like a beer garden situation? And there's gonna be there's gonna be security personnel posted so that you can
Yes.
manage the egress.
Yes,
into
we
the
have
area?
security checking IDs in front of the bar,
Uh-huh.
and we also have floating security in there walking around and security watching to make sure that no one exits or enters the area.
Thank you.
Are the floating security wearing uniforms or something to distinguish that they are security?
Yes,
And I forgot to ask earlier, but you do know that Aloha Tower is essentially a college campus in
Yes.
part. So please do your best to be vigilant. Make sure you folks exercise all of the safeguards to protect the minors from access to alcohol.
yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so my question is is your organization affiliated with the Hollywood
With Hollywood?
Wrestling?
No, sir.
Not at all. You're totally independent
Yes.
locally.
Yes.
And this is your first event, correct?
It would be our 4th event, 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Okay, but first event with alcohol?
No, sir.
No? You have always had? Okay,
Yes.
very good. Thank you. Commissioners?
Motion to approve application number 19-16089.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 4, application number 19-16089 is approved.
Thank you. Good
Thank
luck.
you, Mr. Lee. Let's call agenda item number 5, application number 19-15617 for Rock Island LLC.
Aloha, Michael Gelfo, GELFO, for Rock Island Cafe.
Thank you very much, Commissioners.
Mr.
Gelfo.
Gelfo. This is for the ground floor space of the Kalakauen
Right.
condominium, correct?
Right, 1911.
What was formerly in this space?
There was a Thai restaurant in there, Cafe Haru, but for many years it was eggs and things.
Ah, okay.
We moved from down the street.
Alright, motion to approve application number 19-15617.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Application number 19-15617 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you guys, thank you.
Call agenda item number 6, application number 19-16138 from Volume Services Inc.
Good afternoon, Commissioner Chair, Commissioners. Thomas Berger for applicant, BERGER. And with me today is Davey Murayama, Davey DAVY Murayama, MURAYAMA, who is the general manager for the applicant. We have no changes to the investigative report. We're requesting an extension because the new application is still being processed at this time.
You folks are requesting an additional 120 days.
Yes.
Motion to approve application number 19-16138 for an additional 120 days.
Second.
Then moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 6, application number 19-16138 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, moving on to the request, request number 19-9025, Long's Drug Store, California LLC. Mr. Newton Chu from Hilo, Hawaii. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Chairman O'Donnell, members of the commission, Ms. Harai. Newton Chu on behalf of the applicant, Long's Drug Stores California LLC. To my right, Christopher Kamei, CHRISTOPHER KAMEI. He's the district leader for Long's. We have no changes to the investigation.
Very good. Commissioners?
Mr. Chu, why don't you walk us through your request?
We're asking, there was an extension to the warehouse with a mezzanine behind the store.
Oh, okay.
So we're asking that it become part of the licensed premises.
Okay. And what are you folks planning to use this space for?
It's storage.
Storage.
Storage only.
And then is this for alterations or just extension?
Well, we're in the middle of a kind of a fresh renovation, fresh up too. It's not yet completed, so I'm going to send a letter within 5 days of its completion.
Okay. Motion to approve request number 17-9025.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 7, request number 17-9025 is approved.
Thank you very much.
Be careful going off this. Calling agenda item number 8, request number 19-15945 from Ferguson's Irish Pub. Mr. Murphy.
Afternoon, Chairman, Commissioners, Mr. Rai, Don Murphy, Ferguson's Irish Pub.
And Mr. Murphy, this is for the extension for the space in the Pacific Guardian Center
Correct.
area, correct?
Outside the back area.
And it's the back area, not the area facing the street, right?
No, it wraps around into the arcade.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
next
that
to it.
area, but not on the
Correct.
Bishop Street side, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Has there been, have you folks have any issues with that area?
No, not at all.
How often on a monthly basis is a request made to use these extended premises?
Well, it's almost daily outside, but it'll just be by 2 or 3 people sitting at a table or whatever, a few groups. But we probably last year did maybe 3 semi-large fundraisers. Yeah, so it's it's not that often.
Okay. Thank you.
Motion to approve request number 19-15945.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 8, request number 19-15945 is approved.
Great, thank you.
Mr. Murphy. Calling agenda item number 9, request number 19-16099 from Honolulu Beerworks LLC.
Afternoon, Chairman. Jeff Seideman, GEOFF, SEIDEDMAN, owner of Honolulu Beerworks. With me is Megan Omura.
MEGANOMURA.
Thank you very much. Commissioners.
Mr. Seideman, why don't you walk us through your event?
So we do a yearly event. This is our 3rd year doing it, where it's a park fundraiser, park street festival for all ages.
And what is the festival for?
Pangea Seed. So it's called Oceans in the Street. So a portion of proceeds goes to that organization.
Oh. And I see here that your event is all ages, correct?
Yes. Up until 9 o'clock.
Up until 9 o'clock. And how long does the event go till?
It goes. We're off the street by 10:30. The we shut the event off at 10 and they break down the tents and all that.
What is your plan to prevent service and consumption of alcohol by minors?
So we have security, we have our own security plus HPD, so we will ID, band, and the servers are trained on IDing as well.
Okay. Have you folks have any incidents in the past years you've done this event with alcohol?
No.
If I'm doing my math correctly, during peak hours you'll have 5 HPD officers and 4 security. Is that
We'll have
correct?
2 of our own, and then I think it's 2, and then they do a shift change, and then we have 2 more at night.
What is the total amount of HPD during the peak hours?
During the peak would be, I think, 2.
No.
4.
Sorry. Yeah. So during peak time, we're gonna have our 2 personal security at the front checking people in. We'll also have 2 more of our own personal doing like interior checking. And then per HPD's request, they wanted also their own 2 officers at like where the street closures are, and then they also wanted a sergeant to like monitor the interior as well.
Okay, for the security officers who rove, are they wearing uniforms and can be identified as security?
Yes, they're special duty.
No, the private security.
Oh, private security. Yes, they're. I believe they have their own uniform.
Thank you.
I just had one question. Have you obtained your special permit for the street as of yet?
So it's still being under review. Ms. Banal emailed our investigator, Mr. Sato. It has been approved by the department. It's just
You have plenty of time.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, thank you. Commissioner,
Motion to approve request number 19-16099.
second. Been moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 9. Request number 19-16099 is approved.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 10, request number 19-16183 from Outrigger Canoe Club. Gentlemen,
Chairman and Commissioners, my name is Reed Eater. I'm the Food and Beverage Director for Outrigger Canoe Club. That's spelled R-E-D-E. Last name is E-D-E-R.
Tyler Rockema, Tylerroukema, General Manager.
very good, thank you. Commissioners, this is a request for approval to use card and board games in its licensed premises.
Okay, and you folks have listed here bridge, cribbage, backgammon, mahjong, and chess. Correct?
There's no gambling on any of those games, correct? Correct. Very good, thank you.
Motion to approve request number 19-16183.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Request number 19-16183 is approved. Mr. Lai, would you like to?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. With respect to similar of these types of requests coming from club class licensees in accordance with Rule 38117.4, administration would ask the Commission's permission and approval to handle these similar types of requests administratively as opposed to putting it before the Commission at hearing. The Commission should, I'm merely asking for your concurrence that we are permitted to take that action. There are a number of items that can be removed from the 321 agenda.
Okay, very good. Do you want a motion to that effect?
I don't believe we need it. I just want your.
For the record, can we have a verbal Vice Chair Min? Agreed?
Yes, it's so noted for the record.
So
Thank
noted. Agreed?
Thank you.
And the Chair agrees. Thank you very much. So let's move into other business. Agenda item number 11, request number 19-16162 from Devon Nakova.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Commissioners, Devin Nicoba authorization for Green Cup and for our international. To my right is GM Takaaki Nakajima, Takaaki Nakajima.
Thank you. Commissioners.
Mr. Nakoba, this is a request for a waiver of Rule 3-82-31.6. Can you please walk us through your request?
Certainly. Rinka is in the process of getting their final license. They actually had their preliminary last week. But of course, that also means that the restaurant is already in operation. We are just hoping to get special licenses in order to cover the time in between when they are going to be officially getting their liquor license and this current time.
Okay. So the waiver you're asking for is to have you
So that we can apply for
more than
one
3
license.
days
Yes.
at a time.
Yes.
But it's also a waiver of to not exceed 12 days per calendar quarter. So do you think you're going to exceed that number, or is this just to ease of request and scheduling?
Honestly, it's for ease of request and schedule. We're not anticipating going more than 60 days because we're already into the 45-day notification period. So.
Okay. So you folks will or you will not exceed the 12 days per calendar quarter?
We will.
And then the part 2 of your request here on the agenda is to utilize current documents on file. Is that correct? Okay. What documents are those?
We need to use the personal history. Also, we need to utilize their documentation for the company itself, for our International Inc. Also, if we could utilize their floor plan, and I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank now. I had it all in my head. And also the personal history documentation, as well as the criminal background history check. Because there is only one individual.
These were all, when were these documents filed?
They were actually filed by a different representative. I believe they were done last year.
Motion to convene into executive session.
Second. Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye, we are now in executive session. Okay, thank you, we are now back on the official record. Commissioners, do you have any further questions or types of action?
Yes, Chair. Motion to deny request number 19-16162.
Second. Then moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 11, request number 19-16162 is denied. Thank you, Mr. Nakoba.
Thank you.
Chair, motion for the adoption of decision and order for agenda items 12 through 16 inclusive.
Second. Then moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. The adoption of decision and order, agenda items number 12 through 16 inclusive are approved. Ms. Ogata.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the Commission, Deputy Corporation Counsel Paige Ogata.
Thank you. Calling agenda item number 17, United Airlines, United Club.
Good afternoon, Chair O'Donnell.
Good afternoon.
Vice Chairman, Commissioner Miyashiro, and Ms. Hirai. My name is Lyle Hosoda, spelled Lylehosoda. I represent United Airlines.
On or about June 30, on or during the fiscal year ending June 30, 2017, in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii, licensee failed to accurately file its revenues from gross liquor sales or to properly complete a gross liquor sales report in violation of Rule 3-81-17.56 of the Rules of the Liquor Commission of the city and county of Honolulu.
Mr. Hosoda, how would you like to plead?
We are going to plead guilty, but if I could just take a minute of your time.
Of
This
course,
is a very
one moment, let me enter the plea first.
Thank you.
Motion to accept the plea.
Second. Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 17, the guilty plea is accepted.
Ms. Ogata, your recommendation.
Recommendation is a $500 fine. The United Airlines has already paid an adjustment to their liquor sale report.
Thank you. Mr. Hosoda.
Thank you. We accept responsibility. This is obviously a very large corporation. In this particular situation, it resulted as a result of change in vendors. They changed vendors, and there was just a month period where there was a transition, and they missed it. Once the audit happened, there was full cooperation with the auditors. Once it was identified, they cooperated. There was a difference identified, and they immediately paid the fine. So, with all that said, I think in a situation where it's a first offense, number one, we accept responsibility and apologize for taking your time on this, and we will do better.
Thank you. Motion to approve the recommended fine of $500.
Second. So moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 17, the recommended fine of $500 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Calling agenda item number 18, Junior's Lounge.
Chair, members of the commission, this licensee has opted to enter a plea of no contest in writing. I may approach with the written plea.
Thank you. Motion to accept the written plea in lieu of appearance and the written no contest plea.
Second. Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 18, the no contest plea is accepted.
Ms. Ogata.
Recommended fine is $500.
And Ms. Ogata, do you know if this licensee their floor plan now matches what we have on record?
That's my understanding.
Okay, thank you. Motion to approve the recommended fine of $500.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 18, the recommended fine of $500 is approved. Thank you. Calling agenda item number 19, 7-Eleven stores.
Chair, members of the commission, as with the previous licensee, this licensee has opted to plead no contest in writing. May I approach?
Thank you.
Motion to accept the waiver of appearance as well as the written no contest plea.
Second. Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 19, the no contest plea is accepted.
Ms. Ogata.
Recommended fine is $500. And I believe the new floor plan does match now.
Okay. Motion to approve the recommended fine of $500.
Second. Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 19, the recommended fine of $500 is approved. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item number 20, Newman Marcus.
Chair, members of the commission, I was contacted by counsel for Neiman Marcus, who is requesting a continuance for 4 weeks to April 11th, 2019. I have no objection.
April 11th, did you say?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Motion to continue agenda item 20, Neiman Marcus to April 11th, 2019.
Second. Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 20 is continued to April 11th, 2019. Agenda item number 21, Bob's Sports Bar.
Chair, members of the commission, I spoke with a representative from Bob's Sports Bar requesting that we continue this till April 18th, 2019. I have no objection.
Thank you.
We'll note for the record, this will be the third continuance we've granted for this matter.
Just out of curiosity, what was the reason for the third request?
When I spoke with the representative, Greg Nishioka, he informed me that he and his client are still doing some internal investigation before deciding what they wanted to do in terms of a plea.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, Ms. Ogata, April 18th is your?
Yes, please.
Motion to continue agenda item 21, Bob's Sports Bar to April 18th, 2019.
Second. Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 21 is continued to April 18th, 2019. Calling agenda item number 23, the INI Express.
I'm sorry, I believe there is number 22, one more Bob's
I'm sorry,
Sports Bar.
excuse me.
Thank you, sorry about that.
21, I see, oh, right, they have two.
Yes.
Excuse me. Calling agenda item number 22, Bob's Sports Bar.
Chair, members of the commission, as with the previous agenda item, I spoke with a representative from Bob's Sports Bar who requested that we continue this until April 18th, 2019. I have no objection.
I will note for the record, for this agenda item as well, that this will be the third continuance. Motion to continue agenda item 22, Bob's Sports Bar to April 18th, 2019.
Second.
Been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 22 is continued to April 18th, 2019. Very good. Calling agenda item number 23, Waianae Express. Please come forward. Introduce yourself. Spell your name.
My name is Tae-In Kwok, T-A-E-I-N-K-W-A-K.
Chair, members of the commission, I actually spoke, Mr. Kwok is represented, or this entity is represented by counsel who was not able to be here today, Mr. Kyuchi. Mr. Kyuchi and I discussed and requested that we continue this matter until April 11th, 2019. Mr. Kyuchi needs time to speak with Mr. Kwok, and Mr. Kwok may also need an interpreter, but we have to determine that first.
Okay.
So I have no objections, April 11th, please.
Thank you.
Hold on, I need a point of order from legal counsel. Commissioner Miyashiro usually recuses himself from any issues with Mr. Kyuchi that would break our quorum if he was to. Is that, am I on the right track here?
Yes, that would be true. However, Mr. Kyuchi's not here, and I think because they're asking for a continuance, I think it's okay.
We're okay, okay, fine.
Yeah, if I could chime in, I think this is purely procedural, not substantive, so I wouldn't be adjudicating on the merits.
Very good, okay.
Thank you.
Motion to continue agenda item 23, Waianae Express to April 11th, 2019.
Second.
Been moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 23 is continued to April 11th, 2019. You have to come back, Mr. Park.
When
You have to come back on April 11th.
April 11.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Talk to your attorney.
Okay, I understand.
Thank you very much. Sorry about that. Agenda item number 24, Club Flaminio.
Chair, members of the commission, as with the previous licensee, this licensee is represented by Keith Kyuchi. He and I discussed a continuance until April 11th. I have no objection.
Motion to continue agenda item 24, Club Femnu to April 11th, 2019.
Second.
Moved in second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Agenda item number 24 is continued to April 11th, 2019. Okay, thank you very much. Calling
Thank you,
agenda,
Mr. Okata.
agenda item number 25, do we have a legislative update? We received via email.
I have nothing further.
Thank you
Or-
very much. Calling agenda item number 26, do we have any administrative matters? Mr. Picard?
No, we don't.
No, thank you. Meeting adjourned.